My name is Marcello Minale, and I'm Managing Director of Minale Tattoo. We are an international design consultancy with offices in London, Paris, Milan, Brussels, Moscow and Sydney. We are basically a network of partners, all specialising in various design disciplines, which range from corporate identity to packaging to interior design and wayfinding and signage. We have some specializations in particular sectors, such as the energy sector, as well as food and drink and destination branding, amongst others. We were founded in 1964 by my father, called Marcello Minale. So again, there's some confusion sometimes. People confuse me for a 71-year-old gentleman at times, which I think is quite flattering. However, my father's not with us anymore, and Brian Telescope, who was his partner, is not with us either. However, their vision about creating a multidisciplinary design consultancy is very much within our own philosophy and how we work. Today I'd like to sort of thank the AEC Worldwide Expo conferences online to give me this opportunity to share some ideas, some projects that we have been working on in Russia, as well as here in the UK. We are strictly speaking a multidisciplinary design consultancy, which means that our skills vary from graphic design to actual environments, both interior and exterior. So I hope we can sort of demonstrate a few ideas related to the subject of office interior design or office space. Although strictly speaking, we haven't done anything that specific recently, but I think what is quite interesting is the office of the future, where interaction between workers or people who are involved within the organisation and people from outside the organisation, which either purchase their service or their product or their know-how, is actually changing. The whole demographic of organisations are changing. In fact, now we find organisations which are organisations within organisations within organisations, which are networks, which is both consumer as well as provider, as well as consultant, as well as specialist, all actually interacting and working within groups which have redefined the way we work as human beings and organizations, and therefore redefined the office space. So for an organization in Russia recently came up with an opportunity where they identified that within shopping malls there is a lot of passing traffic. Obviously, the reason why people go shopping is obviously to purchase, but also to look around, to decide when will there be their next purchase, let's say. So there's a lot of traffic going around in these shopping malls, these environments, and the opportunity is spotted that maybe we could capitalize there by giving people, a moment to sit down and have a rest and contemplate what will be their next move. So this small company of entrepreneurs came to us with this idea, very basic, and that was to create a sort of sit-down area where people could actually get their nails manicured. Sounds very bizarre, but it's actually something that is very relaxing, and also it's very appropriate. So it's to design a space within a shopping mall that attracts people to feel comfortable, to sit down and relax, and needs to be memorable, needs to sort of offer that service through a number of facilities. Now the facilities obviously is a chair. is a desk to sit down, a chair to sit down, and a desk obviously to lean against. But also you need lighting. You need a certain amount of light, well illuminated. But in these shopping malls you have a sort of overall illumination. So you have to sort of look at the sort of micro illumination, as well as sort of like consider the macro illumination to actually interfere. The materials as well for all the sort of furniture also is expressing something about the brand, the colour, the material and so on. So even here sort of the soft shapes which we utilise in order to sort of create a sort of feeling of comfort was an important element to sort of communicate what the brand actually stands for. Again, this was defined earlier in the process before we actually started to sort of design these various elements. So when we start to sort of like do this picture, we have a name, very descriptive, which was, by the way, Manicure Express, which is very descriptive. But when you sort of hone down and just come up with the core essence of that name, it's actually the initials M and E for Manicure Express is me. So again, the brand actually was called Me. And it is very much about this moment where, a shopper is actually moving around, looking, interacting with lots of brands all the time, actually finds a moment within all that experience where it's a time for themselves, which is it's a very sort of selfish, you could say, intimate time with me. I'm just a little bit of indulgence for myself. I'll look after my own persona while I plan for my next move, you could say. The colours as well, very, very bright, feminine colours were used as well, because it was identified that the majority of users would be women. So pinks were looked at, and the soft sort of colours and tones and so on, to create this again this sort of feminine, quiet, trusted environment with which where one could just sort of indulge with one's own sort of self sort of needs, we say. However, it turned out that it was such a good concept that actually, interesting enough, male shoppers also within this sort of experience of being at a shopping mall found that sitting down and having their hands manicured was actually quite an enjoyable pastime. While maybe their wives and families were sort of shopping, they could actually get their hands manicured. So there was actually a learning curve there, where actually it was actually an experience that we at first thought would be very specific to female audience, but it's actually broader than that. So I think the brand now and the colours and the environment is evolving. They're actually changing and going probably about moving more to sort of a neutral area. An interesting story about brands and how they affect environments is also forecourt or the petrol station design. I mean, it's very interesting because petrol stations are seen by everyone every day, and they're just a very functional piece of real estate. There's a petrol pump. I need to go and fill my car, so I go to a petrol station. There's actually no difference between one petrol station and another. They all sell very much the same product. However, people actually do vote